I'm going to take a moment to go through kind of a simple visualization and walkthrough on the grid. And hopefully this will illuminate a few things. And also when you see material that it is included in, you'll have a better understanding. Again, it's just rudimentary because I'm not trying to teach you everything, I'm just trying to show you the workflow. All right, so we do this habitually, and this is the flow. So you can look at things for what it does, and this is what we have to focus on in the beginning. So we look at the jurisdiction of our relation. Well, actually, you should start over here. So the relation stems from myself, and then I have to do an evaluation and determine those variables that will affect the business operations and movement of things that I have to do. So in the essence of document creation, this system that we've built has a placement for the exception of these people coming to work with me. So you could think of it like the relationship gets defined, the valuation gets done on our professional value and who we are and what we're doing in our essence generally, and then our function. Those variables gets put into either a singular focus or it's a project focus where it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then we do the accumulative. The accumulative is what it cost in putting this master agreement together and the time that it takes to build out the contracts, the cost of the contracts, the legal, the financial side, and then we define out the projects. This gets put into what we call acceptable acknowledgement and documentation that gets reported to my trust. So we have a budget, and this is my cost of living, cost of business, boiled into an operating strategy for fulfillment of our global goals and responsibilities as an organization of our type, with a specific function to get out into the world and implement and propagate projects and opportunities globally. So now there's a gallery. The gallery is literally what the grid represents. So it's organization and management of properties and enterprises concurrently. And this has been the sentiment and what I've been doing for the last several years of pulling things together. So the grid always will show, this is the tasks every 30 days. So when we do our bottom line calculation, this is done every 30, 60, 90 days. So we're always pivoting and able to accommodate our relations, the variables around them, and then what is it that we're going to have our bottom lines, So if they're on our top of our budget, then they are relationship that we are in kindred relationship with, meaning we have a same or like purpose, and we have a preferred method of working, which is contracting the parent organization and putting that operating agreement together. Jurisdiction, like moves, this includes all we do. So the human workforce, and then the community aspect, how we're developing it out, what's the development strategy, what's the business or projects that we're going to be showcasing, and how is it that we are funding it, what's our capital and our revenue generating methods. Benefits, and then what are we defining? What is this ongoing, or is it going to be a one-time benefit? We have to define that out. I go through a system of process. So I use my operating agreement model that we incorporate either an internal or an external relationship. If it's external, then they have a contract with my company, Universal Changemakers, to fulfill. That's A to Z. So we run it through the 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days, and we implement this phase plan and strategy. You can't get in or out or do anything until we determine how and what those variables are per person, per project, and what the real logistics are, right? Where we're going, where we're going to be engaging with, what kind of government agencies we're going to work with, what's the form and the formation, the formula. Those variables get put in here, and these are attachments. Now we have a capital understanding of what we need to raise, earn, or procure. Could be an award, an initiative. It could be something we're doing for an equity raise or a matching fund deal. I mean, there's a bazillion different ways that we do this, but the process and the methodology is contained within the grid and its process, procedures, and methodologies. And this is solely owned by me. So there's always a right of use agreement and a terms and conditions agreement for us as peers and affiliates or partners. However, we define that in the end and the beginning must always match. So that means that every quarter we're tracking this. We're setting the metrics of what we have to look for. And we have a year-long pathway that we have all of our definitions of what we're doing, where we're doing it, and it's an ongoing public-facing activity guide. So we'll have a public-facing side of the grid, and then we have the back end, which is all of the elves working on things. So each one of these dots constitutes a task in that phase plan. And so by nature, it would have its own project management pipeline and workflow, which we do through British 24 Connect Team and Odoo, as well as our Give Butter and our Better World applications, and our venues, our vendors, our professionals. They all have to come in and go through their evaluation, determination, and we kind of create that operating guidebook because it tells us how to work together and at what capacity are we going to have a